All right, just gone top of the hour. Thanks for jumping on the call, guys. I know it is Super Bowl day, so if you guys want to jump off early, or even if you're going to watch the replay of this, that is fine. It is live on YouTube. So thanks to the guys who have jumped on live. We're going to get straight into it. So I've just moved to my home office. I've reset up at my home office, so I'm hoping everything is coming through clearly. The sound and everything, it seems so. So I'll just check over here. Just pop a quick comment in the chat there, Chris, if the sound is coming through clearly. All right, I think it is. Okay, let me just deactivate this camera. And let's see. Okay, just one more little thing I've got to do. Yes, okay, magic. Thanks, Shane. That's awesome. Okay, great. So before we jump into what happened last week and what we're doing for the week ahead, I've got some really awesome updates to the DTB system. So I've just been screen showing this this new update to the ultimate bands indicator. So it's quite an awesome update, which we'll go through in a moment. But let's have a look at our other signal chart so far. So from the beginning of the session, you can see, the price, the market opened over here, 6 p.m. We immediately had some cyan bars and we had a breakout marker left behind. So as you guys know, whenever you have these breakout markers left behind, especially after a strong signal like that, when the price is heavily oversold, it's a really great time to jump in. So that was a good 100 tick move from that mark over there. And we've got a few other markers left behind here. Okay, we do have a 76.4 fib level, which, you need to just to be careful on to see if the price didn't bounce back off that, but it just seemed to go right through. So that was quite good. It's only a 5-minute fib level. So that is great. And let's have a look at our next signal chart. This is the take it and run signal chart. So that has been showing a very, very strong uptrend. So especially for Friday, we basically had that major uptrend the whole way. So, even if you guys are running the automated strategies and you are seeing what's happening on a signal chart like this, like even the larger signal chart, it's a good idea just to pop your strategy on long only, as an example. It's only when you're really seeing the price fluctuate between areas and uncertainty, when you will see historically that you can, use both directions on the strategies. But generally from 9:30, we saw the price drop a little bit on Friday. And then, so that would have been short only. And then as soon as it broke above and it stayed above, you want to be long only for that whole period. Okay, so looking at that, this is something too that I'm going to be building into these strategies. So there is there's going to be a filter being added to the strategy so that you can click on a button to be able to use the the signal chart as a filter for entering positions. Okay, so let's do that. Let's have a look at the next signal chart. This is just a 20 range chart that I added, and I just updated this indicator a few minutes ago, and I just changed the retracement. So this is a very simple indicator. It just basically measures a certain retracement level. So if the price retraces over that level, the bar will change color, and obviously that can be adjusted to any value depending on what size chart you have. So just a good idea to know, how far price is retraced, since the last high or the last low, and how far it is within that retracement. So basically looking at this, you'll see it's 100 retracement. That means from the low to here is 100, and so far the price has moved 29 ticks. So it's 129 ticks from its low, which is where the price is at the moment. Okay, this is our levels and range, which is really awesome. It shows you all the moving averages values, and it shows you the overnight high, overnight low, previous day open, close, all that stuff is on here, together with our momentum bars indicator. So it's similar to the brick wall indicator. It's actually, yeah, very much the same. It just paints these support and resistance levels, and then you can look at that based on what price, where price is, what it's likely to do next, and looking at these moving averages values too. Okay, trend following, very cool one. We won't go into much of that at the moment. Our volume analytics and the candle volume. So we covered this a bit on a previous call. Basically, the very first column, you can set it up to monitor the specific instrument or the specific data series that you are on. So if you look at the bottom left of the chart, you will see that the current bar has got a volume of 7. There we go, 7. And the previous bar had a volume of 1500. The previous bar had a volume of 557. So that's telling you the direction of those bars, where they ended up. Did they end up positive, up or down, and the volume of them. And then these are the NinjaTrader volume that we've pumped in there. Okay, so this is the new, or not the new, the update to the indicator that we're going to cover. So if I just pop through on the settings, if I go to the indicator settings, you will notice that there is a new little update to the settings. And you'll see over here, ultimate bands, you'll see it's got a section there called highlight possible reversals. And we've got using in-out bars, highlight reversal bars, and draw dots. So the draw dots is obviously the magenta and the cyan dots that you see on the chart. So if you untick that, obviously they won't show. Highlight the reversal bars, that is the main one that we're going to be using. And I'm actually building an automated strategy around this. Really cool. So we'll go into this more once the strategy has actually been created. I'm working on it at the moment. But this is how you're going to be able to see what price is doing. It's going to actually visually color bars and draw dots. You've also got a tick band shift. So this is, this is all part of going to be part of the strategy. But what this basically does is it will increase or decrease where the bands are positioning. So regarding signals, it's going to filter out more signals the higher you increase this, and less signals, the less you increase it. So if I make this a 1 as an example, it's going to give a lot more signals onto the chart. So if you look at the chart, you'll see there's a lot more cyan and magenta bars. Now, these are not repainted. So as you can see over here, we've got these magenta dots, magenta dots, magenta dots. They're not repainted. As soon as that bar forms, that dot is going to appear. As soon as the price reaches a certain point, that dot is going to appear immediately because it's calculated on each tick. I've got it, yeah, on each tick. So as soon as the price touches a level on the bands, it's going to draw this dot. So every time you see this dot, it happened during that bar, okay? And if you watch the replay of this call, the last 30 minutes before we went live, you will see how that a dot formed, on one of the top bars. So basically, what this is doing, if you go back on the chart, even like this, and you look at every single time a dot formed, that's basically a signal to buy or sell. Now you'll see there's a sell, there's a buy, there's a sell, there's a buy. Some of them can be a lot more, there's a lot more signals because I've reduced the value right down to number 1. So basically what we're going to be creating a strategy with, as soon as a dot appears, it's going to be entering on the next bar. So you'll see that once that dot appears, the bar closes. To confirm that dot, it's going to enter the next trade over there. And then the stop is going to basically be above this bar, and then whatever target we decide to, whatever target ticks we put in there. So that's how that's going to work. Now going into the indicator settings, obviously we've got it on a 1 at the moment. So we can go and adjust that value of the ultimate bands. Let me just put this up so when you open it, it'll always be on top. So if I make this a 10 as an example, it's increased the width of those bands. And as you can see, the bands went a bit wider over there. And now all of a sudden you are seeing less signals. So if we go back on this chart, remember every single one of these dots is not historically, I mean, they're historically painting, but they're not repainting. So in real time, this is exactly where they are going to enter. So again, very simple strategy I'm trying to create is, enter as soon as a dot appears and put the stop above the bar where the previous bar, and then have a target ticks of whatever. So we might even target, I don't know, 20 target, 10, 50, even a 15, 20 target, like a scalping type of a thing, where we have like a 20 target and a 30 stop. Basically what's going to happen is every single time a dot appears, a bar closes in confirmation of that. So it's not going to enter, obviously, when there's multiple dots in a row like this. It's going to wait for a dot on the specific bar, and then when it closes, it will enter. So that's what we're going to do over there. So you'll see that one there. I would say basically every single time that dot appeared, the price actually went down, went up on this. So that strategy is going to basically, I think this is the only one that I can see over here where the price actually went down. After that dot appeared, it didn't go up, far enough. But generally, we are going to have a decent strategy created from this. And it's also amazing for you guys to manually scalp. So at the moment, I've also added an indicator. I've added the brick wall on here, the SI brick wall. So if you look at the chart, you will see that it's got these brick wall indicator over here. So as soon as the dot appears and that brick wall formed and closes, that's even a more powerful signal to enter, because you got confirmation of a major support area over there. So that's another thing to look at. But generally you're going to find that those are going to be quite successful. Like there, we just had a break over there. Also, these breakout volume markers. So when you're looking at this chart and you are seeing a bar close and a marker was left behind, that is an absolutely incredibly powerful signal too. And those ones you can probably do a much larger target. So as you can see there, we've had 100 plus 130 tick move since that happened. So I think we're in for something really awesome over here. And then what you might want to do, I'm not saying it's always going to be 100% right, but if you are seeing a break and you're seeing a volume marker just over there and you're seeing a brick wall over there, maybe that's an entry you won't want to take. So I'm going to play around with the strategy by creating it with a filter to use the volume breakout markers, or to not enter a trade if a volume breakout marker is within X ticks above or below the bar close. So there's a few things I've got to play around with this, but I've been wanting to build an automated strategy with this ultimate bands for a long time. A very long time. And I think it's going to be an amazing little scalping strategy, and it only works on a trending baseline. So any bar size that you are looking at, use like the first number. So I've got a 5 and a 30. That means every single bar is going to be 5 ticks long, and a reversal bar is going to be 30 ticks plus 5. So it's got to be, for a reversal to be successful, it's got to pass the 5 ticks, and then it's got to close over there. So the reversal's basically got to be the 35 ticks in total. So from where it goes up to where it forms a new bar. Okay, let me just remove this. So so position it like that. So you might even want to go for a larger value, like say for example, you might want to go for a even a 10 100. Okay, you can take break at end of day off if you're going to do that. it'll be a similar thing there. You're going to see the same type of thing happen over there, where each bar is going to be 10 ticks and each reversal bar is going to be 100. So even if scrolling back on this chart, you'll see, like there, a trade would have happened there, successful, a trade happened there, successful, trade happened there, successful. Basically, every single one of these signals on here are successful. Look, a trade, a dot there going up, dot there going down. And as you can see, it will plot the dots on some of the bars like this. Okay. But if that bar doesn't close up, then it's not a signal, right? So it's only when you see a dot and the bar close, then you have got your signal. So I think this is going to be a damn good automated strategy, as well as a manual trading approach. So even if you just want to scalp and you want to do you want to spend 30 minutes to an hour trading, you can pop this on, to a chart, like I did over there, 530. Maybe even during the US session, you might want to change that to maybe even a 550, like that. And then that is going to give you the signal. So yeah, so that's what I would do. And you could, and the good thing too is you can go back and you can look, okay, well, look at the time, how many signals were generated between, let's say, between 9:30. So let's look at how many signals were generated between 9:30 and 11, as an example. You can say, okay, well, 9:30 there was 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 4 signals. So that's not bad. If you're going to trade an hour and a half, you've got 4 opportunities to enter trades, and even just target, 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe even just 30 ticks. So that's something to look at. Or you can switch over to a slightly smaller bar size like this and do the same thing over there, like we just saw over here. Now you can have break at end of day on or off on this. It's not really a thing to really work on. As you can see, look, the signals are exactly the same. But there we had a breakout. There we had a brick wall. So you can really have it on or off. It doesn't really matter when you're scalping this. And like the last one that we saw over there that broke down, you see it moved 5, 10, 15 ticks, but it's kind of a failing at this volume breakout marker. You see, it looks like it might be failing. So that's when I said just be careful trading into one of those breakout volume markers left behind. So I think this is going to be damn good for you guys who just want to scalp, for an hour, hour and a half. And when I set up the automated strategy for this, yeah, it's going to be something else. And as you can see, watch it in real time too. If you guys want to run some market playback and you want to see these signals happening in real time, you'll be absolutely blown away by how accurate they are, especially when you combine them with the breakout volume markers. It's just a real-time little automated strategy that can run for scalping without you having to optimize and without you having to do a lot of back-end preparation work. It's something that you can just set up, run for a period of time, and then get out. I don't think it's a set and forget strategy. Even though it looks that way, I wouldn't treat it as a set and forget, but I can't say that for 100% certainty because I haven't actually completed the strategy. The only thing I've been able to get right is, the indicator plotting the exact value. So there's a lot of coding in the back of this. Now you might just see 2 bands over here. There's a shitload in the back of this that has been, created, filtering out a few things. You'll see lots of the time there's going to be bars breaking, but there's no signal on that bar. So this is really trying to filter out the best setup. And you can also go into, obviously, like we discussed, into the indicator settings, and you can increase the tick delay, which I basically created tick band shift. That's like a tick delay, and increase that. depending on which bar you want to trade. Now, if you increase it too much, you're going to see there's going to be much fewer levels, signals, obviously. You don't want that, right? Like there's no signals there, right? Because it's just too wide. It's too wide for this specific bar size. But for example, if you go onto maybe a 50 with that specific setting, let's just see if that is going to bring up any of those signals. Yeah, it brings up a few. You see, it brought up a few signals, like 1, 2, 3. That's oh man. If you guys see this, if you guys see the price go up, come down, fail at a brick wall, and then go up, Jesus Christ, that is, that you can almost put your house on that. Okay, but those are the type of signals that this thing's going to generate. And as you can see, these brick walls, these brick walls are so unbelievably powerful. But this is definitely a setting that is a bit too, too much for that, that value. So I'll switch it back to the 530, and I'm going to put this indicator back on. Come on, back on 10. Now, you can go and use the strategy builder for this. Actually, can you? Yeah, no, I think you need a bit of extra code, but it does have some plots in it that can be used in the strategy builder. I haven't tried it in the strategy builder myself, but I had to expose plots to make the indicator actually work in an automated strategy. And those plots are long signal and short signal. So that's basically them showing over there. Okay, cool. So that's enough on that. So, I want to see you guys use this indicator this week for some scalping, pop some screenshots in, and I think you're going to be absolutely blown away by its results. Now, I haven't created a specific chart template for it, but if you want to just look at the indicator settings, as an example, I've got the the default settings. The default settings for the ultimate band are these settings. So template, reset, that's the exact settings. It's 10. Okay. This opacity is only for the coloring of the bands, which you don't really need to see. You don't really need to see the bands if you don't want to. You could make this as a 1. You don't have to see the bands if it's going to be too much on your chart, but you will still obviously see the dots that it creates. So there we go. The bands are on 1, so you're not going to see them. So if you're going to use other indicators, then maybe just remove the bands, but use the dots and stuff as it is. Don't worry about the in-out bars for now. The in-out bars is a bit more complicated and technical. I'll quickly pop it on just because I'll show you. So this is going to show in-out bars and the dots, and this is going to be, you'll see there's a lot more. There's green and red dots. Now they are going to be plotting a lot because the price is doing slightly less when that happens. But the good thing is if you want to use those in-outs, you can also increase the the tick delay on those bands, and then it will filter those out also. So you'll see there the green dots, and again, you're probably going to see a lot of really powerful signals. Like there's a green dot, red dot, green, red. So it's going to be showing a lot more signals. So it's up to you if you want to use this. But use the one that I currently have, the default settings. These are also damn good signals. Look, there's so many good signals over here too. If you want to put one on one chart and one on another, you can do that also. If you want to put them both together, you can do that. But the only problem is that it's going to filter out the other signal more. So, if you have them both on, you're probably not going to see many of the reversal bars because the setting is too high. Okay, so just choose one for right now, the reversal bars. Leave this on 10 like it was. And scalp and trade this. I think you guys are going to love it. So sorry, I got sidetracked a little bit there. Indicators. You want to pop on the ultimate bands with the default settings. You want to pop on the brick wall indicator. This is the SI brick wall indicator. So if you don't know what setting to use for the SI brick wall, just use setting 258. I wonder if that is the... Oh, it's not the default setting. Okay. So just use 258. You don't need the up and down arrows. Okay. So just use that. And you don't need... you can have the bars painting. That's fine. And then the breakout second. So you can load 3 instances of the breakout second or just the normal breakout volume. And all I've done is I've gone and loaded the templates that I've given. So I've loaded the deep pink, the plum, and the slate blue. So those are the preloaded templates for the indicator that you can just add. And that's what it's going to look like. So there we go. So as you can see, you know, putting a trade into that volume breakout marker wasn't a good idea. So that is what we've done. Now, if you add the brick wall indicator after the ultimate bands, I mean, the brick wall is going to be coloring the bars, but the good thing is it's still plotting these dots. Okay, so, you know, there's a few things you can do. You can make this not paint. And then it will just highlight those very specific bars, and then you can just see where the brick walls are. Or you can have the bars painting, whatever you want to do. So the only thing is, if you go now and you right click on this and you go duplicate in new tab, what it's going to do is it's unfortunately not going to carry through the indicator over. So there's something I've got, the ultimate bands, there's something about the saving of the properties within the ultimate bands that are not transferring when you open up a new one. So all you got to go do is manually load the ultimate bands yourself. Okay, so if you want to create multiple instances of the chart, just go and pop on, you know, just go into your indicator settings and add the indicator again. Okay, so I will fix that up on a future release. It's just that for right now, that is the case. Okay, enough on that. Goodness. I covered a lot of it because I think it's going to be damn powerful. But anyway, so next thing I wanted to cover was the Fibonacci levels. So the Fibonacci levels, you know, the price is at all-time highs now, which is unbelievably crazy. I don't know how the hell the Nasdaq can go to 18,000 with the, you know, with the current economic climate. But, you know, we're not analyzing price in this. We're just doing what price is doing, right? We're just following it. Fibonacci levels, you are now able to, so the settings, the default settings are going to be, you know, exactly like you've seen them. So it's going to show all the Fibonacci levels. But if, for example, you just want to see the hour Fibonacci level, so you can basically untick all of these. Okay, you can untick all of these. There's a 240 minute, 240 minute. If you just want to see the plot levels and the 60-minute levels, you could do that and apply that. And then what that's going to do is it's going to show you the historical plots for where the Fibonacci level was. So as you can see, as the price kept increasing, you know, the plot level went up. So on the right, you will see, you know, where the current 100% is, but you'll see it'll say 1 hour 100, 1 hour 76, 1 hour 61. So it's showing the plot levels of historically. So by seeing those plot levels, you can basically go back on a trading chart and you can see where historically those levels were at any one time. And there's obviously an automated strategy that you can also build around this. But, you know, it's basically showing you historically, so you can check the accuracy of the indicator of exactly where those levels were at that very specific point in time. So often you're going to see, you know, the price bounce around, go around these levels, and those historical plot levels are going to show you where the price was at that very moment and where that 1 hour 50 was at that very point. So when you build an automated strategy with this and you use these plots, you can actually see where the trades are entering based on those plot levels and, adjust accordingly. But, that's basically how that is going to paint. So it's going to keep showing that. So historically, you're beautifully going to see how these Fibonacci levels have worked in the past. So you could do that with anything. So if you, for example, want to monitor two different instruments at the same time, because as you guys know, if one strong level has been hit on one of the instruments and it's correlated with another, you will see that level of support or resistance will actually be respected on the other. So I'm just going to duplicate a new window, and I want to pop this on an ES as an example. So, as you guys, I'm sure, are aware, this is probably the most powerful Fibonacci levels indicator that exists. Definitely on NinjaTrader. I mean, there's a few other companies that try. There's one company that I think, okay, they're doing pretty well, but they've only got the hour Fibonacci level. I mean, they basically got this. They can monitor the latest hour, the hour Fibonacci levels, whereas we can go all the way from monthly to 5 minutes. But say, for example, you want to monitor if you're watching correlation between instruments, you can go to like the ES, and the exact same thing there. It's going to automatically draw those fib levels, and you can historically see where price has been on this. If I switch this to global and I switch this to global, as you scroll back on the one, you can see where those levels were on the other. It's very hard to see this on one page, unfortunately. Let me just hide this. Let me just see if this makes any difference. So basically what you can do is you can scroll back on any chart. You can see where the historical levels were, and you'll often see how the 50% of the NQ is actually at the same level as the 61.8 of the ES. So like those levels were very strong contentious levels, and as soon as the price failed to make ground below on the ES, and it broke up, then the same thing will happen on the NQ, right? And even if you go historic levels, now I haven't done this on this chart yet, but again, you're going to see very strong levels. So like here, come on, it's so hard to see this. Like here on the NQ, you've got a 1 hour 50, and on the ES, you've got the 1 hour 61.8. So you've got these two levels which are extremely close together. So they're obviously working in correlation because they are, these instruments are correlated, right? So what happens is if the one instrument is hitting a very strong level and the other instrument is also at that same level, that is where price is going to react around, because both of those instruments have got very, very strong, support and resistance levels. So I thought this is just a good way to, be able to go back on the chart and, if you're building a strategy around correlation with Fibonacci levels, this is going to constantly come into play. Okay, maybe a bit too technical for this, but, definitely look at this. So, the cool thing too is if you want to use the hour Fibonacci levels like that, and then you also want to go in and say, okay, well, I'm happy to see the hour, but I also want to see what the 4 hour is doing. So you can do the exact same thing over there. You can say, okay, based on the 4 hour Fibonacci levels, you can view the plot and the Fibonacci levels themselves. It will do the exact same thing over there. So now it's got both of them plotted on. You see, it's got the 4 hour Fibonacci levels and the 1 hour Fibonacci levels, and then you can add the same to your other instrument. So, a good thing to have. Also, even if you're scalping, it's a good thing to have. You can see price breaking through, certain levels. Obviously, that just shot up like damn crazy. But if you're watching price bounce off Fibonacci levels or struggle around Fibonacci levels, then you can also enter trades based in a specific direction or have a direction bias. Like often you're going to have a few different Fibonacci levels in one location, and if the price really breaks through there, that's a strong indication of where price is going to go. So as an example over here, you had the price break through the 1 hour 61.8, which you see 23.6, but that's the current level. Okay, so that's not, this is the historic level you're looking at is the 61.8. So you had the price go around here, break through, come back, retest it, come down, didn't quite hit the 50, stuffed around here for a bit, and then broke through, and then completely smashed through. So direction bias, you can use that, to choose. Okay, you're only going to go long because obviously you can see that the price is not breaking through those important levels to the downside. So an exceptionally powerful indicator to use, and definitely have it on the chart. And if you don't want to see historic plots, I mean, you're only going to want to see historic plots if you are looking back on the chart, and you're building an automated strategy or something around that. But if you just want to see the specific fib levels only, you can untick the plots and just have, the current Fibonacci levels for price. Now, obviously, because price is at its absolute highest, all the levels are going to be at 100, right? And every other level is going to be below. So this is much better to show when the price is, within a normal range, but all these levels are right up at the moment. Okay, so there's a question in the chat. Okay, looks great. Okay, thank you. Is there a signal combo chart to load for this? Okay, no. So, like I said, you probably heard me anyway. You just have to load this indicator manually, and then eventually, when I sort out the little issue that I have with saving it as a template, because it's not allowing me to save the indicator as part of a template, then I will create a signal chart for it. But man, that is looking good. I mean, look at that. That is just unfreaking believable. So even though we had a break over there, we had the volume breakout marker say, hey, guess what? There's support over here, there's resistance over here, or support, should I say. There's support over here, so be careful when you enter this trade. And that's exactly what happened. It actually broke to the upside because this level over here, which was the volume breakout marker, where the institutions are deciding what they want to do with price, that came into play. All right, okay, so that is enough on the fib. So, please use these two tools. If you want to pop on the Fibonacci levels on here too, there's no harm in doing that. You can definitely pop them on here. I think it's a good idea, but you got to have it at least on one of the charts that you are trading. And even if you don't want to, you can load them all up. But if you are trading in a session and you only want to see maybe like the 5-minute fib level, you can go and use that. Now, I do have some templates over here. So if you go into the template load, you will see it says there 5 minutes fib levels only. You can actually load a template. It will only tick that box instead of manually going and ticking it. And then you can see, okay, so for the 5 minutes, what is price doing? Okay, so there it hit a new high. Obviously on Friday, it hit a new high at 2:46 p.m. and it's come down. It's retraced to the 76.4. It did break through that. It went through it again. It came back and retested it, and it's gone through again. So you can definitely do that if you want to have like a fib level on a chart, even if it's just a 5 minute. 5 minutes decent to use. I mean, it's not the best, but it is a good one to use. If you're trading slightly longer periods of time, then I would definitely put on at least the next one up from there. which is the 60-minute. Maybe I should add a 15-minute to this. Maybe I should. I might consider doing that down the track. But then you can add that in. So if you put a 5 and a 15, which I might just add this in here as a 15-minute level. Tell me if you think it's a good idea. And then go into there. Okay, so that's going to show you the 60-minute. Now, the 60-minute, there's the 76.4. So obviously the fib levels are going to be quite vast because the price, the price has really shot up. But that is the 60-minute, next fib level to come into play, which is far from price at the moment anyway. Actually, I'm quite liking the idea of adding a 15-minute to this. I never ever thought of doing that before. Let me just put that on my list of 786 items to attend to. Okay, there we go. 787. Okay, fib level 15-minute. I think that's going to be quite cool. I might bump that up the list to at least the top 100. All right, good. Okay, perfect. So now that we covered that, let's have a look at what happened last week. So last week we ran the game plan, and before I go into that, there's a chat. Yes. So anybody that's watching this, if you currently watching this and you don't have the Fibonacci levels and all of that, it just means that you are on the complementary indicators, which let's have a look at the NQ actually very quickly. We won't take long on this. Let's pop an NQ chart on very quickly. Let's go NQ and let's go to range, because this is what I told you guys to look at. 20 range. Okay, and indicators, you're gonna have, so the guys who are using the complementary tools, which are out of this world amazing as well, especially if you're starting off and you want to start gaining some consistency, you're gonna have these two, right? Actually, I don't need to do that. I can just load a template. So I can go right click on the chart, template, load, and this is basically the template that you can use. I now got a 20 range, but that's what you guys are going to be seeing. So the guys that are using the complementary tools right now, you have had these signals at the beginning of the session, which is two of them went up 120, another one's gone up 103. So anybody using the complementary tools has already made 100 ticks profit this session already from the beginning of the market open. So that's pretty damn awesome. Show me any other company, any other person who's giving complementary tools out that is already earning, that is already providing these absolutely out of this world freaking signals. Okay, so that's the complementary side. Okay, so I had a bit of a shit week actually with the game plan. So what we did is the previous week I did exceptionally well. I earned 6.5 net after commissions and everything. Slippy, that was the actual trades. And what we did is we basically optimized from the 7th of January up until today, or up until the end of last week. But what happened last week with the market is it just went absolutely crazy in one freaking direction. So we've had, this is why on the last call I said, guys, if there's a direction bias, freaking choose the direction bias. Like go long only or short only. So I didn't do that because I'm obviously asleep when these strategies are running. But basically, the strategies for last week, depending on what happened, when you were looking at the signal chart, it's a good idea to choose your direction bias. That's obviously for big trending. I mean, we obviously didn't know at the beginning of the week that there was going to be a big trending week, but as the week progresses, you can definitely start realizing, okay, there's a certain thing that's happening with the market. In the beginning of the week, the market was at 17.5. So it's climbed a considerable amount, this last week. So we had, these are the results popped in there. Thanks for posting there, Bruce. You posted some results in there of your trades. I know, Christopher, you've had your own amazing templates that I hope people have been using, because they have completely overshadowed what I did in the game plan. And I mean, you're active on this, so that I must give you a lot of credit with that. Is you are actively, every session you're optimizing, you are looking at settings, you are looking at different bar sizes, you are doing a lot of work on this. I'm literally doing one optimization at the beginning of the week and letting it run for the week, whereas I think you are a lot more proactive. So that's why, if things start going down one direction, I left mine because I'm like, I'll just, it's fine. I don't mind I just want to see what it does, what I do on the game plan. But generally, the guys that are following Christopher, he's even posted some of his templates that he's going to be using this week, and he's had really good results with this. I've been following his results for a while. I know this one over here was a bit of a $204 loss for the day, but that that was amazing still. I mean, with the basically a losing day was $240, and using the DTB tool. So there's some really good results popped in here, and he's been very kind to provide the templates. So download these templates, pop them in, and work with him. I mean, he's really making it easier for him, for you guys to follow along and work with the templates. Now I know his risk is a bit higher, but he's fine with that because it's obviously working exceptionally well. And in saying that, my results for the last week using the baseline wick trader was a successful week. So out of all the templates that I used, the 3 templates that we used with the results last week, that was the one that actually made money for the week. So, the baseline wick trader, which was template 3, actually made, good money for the week. I think it made about $700 for the week in total. So that was pretty awesome. Okay, I think that's it. So in the chat, yes, Christopher, awesome. So I'm still going to contact you about your contributor subscription, which is obviously a lot less than what everybody else is paying. So anybody who wants to contribute to the system, like like Christopher is doing over here, I'm literally making the subscription a lot lower, and that's just to keep you guys, just keep you guys in the fold and paying something. I mean, I've given out free subscriptions in the past for people that have done things, and then you'd never hear from them again. So I thought, okay, well, there's got to be, you got to have a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? You got to have a little bit of something in the game, right? So that's what the subscription is going to be, just a small amount, and it's literally going to be like $2, just over $2 a day. That's what the subscription is going to be to the greatest tools on earth for trading. So a contributor is somebody who's going to be obviously posting templates, posting screenshots, posting results, and they're only going to pay a very small subscription, and then be part of the development. So obviously by Christopher, I'm praising you a lot, Christopher. I hope you're not blushing that side. Skin in the game, that's it. You got to have some skin in the game, okay? That's what it is. And obviously you guys will appreciate that, right? Okay, so obviously by Christopher doing this every day, posting these templates and sharing his things, he's learning too, right? I mean, he's actually learning because he's trying to show other people what he's doing. He's showing his result, and he's actually trying to master it himself. So the more you teach something, the better you get at it yourself. And it's the same with me. Like, I just was showing you guys the Fibonacci levels, and I came up with an idea about the 15 minutes. I mean, like, I wouldn't have thought of that if I wasn't re-teaching that or re-showing that indicator in detail. So it's the same with anything in life. The more you contribute, the more you teach something, the better you physically get at it yourself, or mentally get at it yourself. Okay, so that is what it is. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there. if there's any questions, unfortunately the stupid YouTube is 30 seconds behind real time. But I'll answer a question in there. Is the fib part of the pay indicator? Yes. The Fibonacci levels is probably, man, it is a superbly, that's a weird word. It's an incredibly complex indicator. And like I said, if you compare the Fibonacci levels that we have and the 100 plus that exist in the world of trading, nothing even comes remotely close to what we have. So it is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of time put into developing these tools and the fib levels, and a lot of that's why there is a subscription for them. I mean, I'm not going to be giving out, all the tools for free. Maybe when I retire one day in, 10, 15 years time, I might say, hey, guess what, world? I've made hundreds of millions of dollars from the system. I'm giving it all to you for free. And then every other company will collapse because, it'll ruin them all. If the best tools are on the planet are available for free, then no one will want to pay for anything else. But you guys have got a subscription to pay for the best tools anyway. So the right people will be attracted to the DTB system, and the right people will continue to grow with it. So I'm doing a lot of ranting on these calls, aren't I? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for jumping on the call. This for the week ahead, I'm gonna be I want you guys to look at the baseline wick trader. So I'm going to look at what Christopher has done over here, and I'm going to just open up the templates, look at them a little bit, just review them a bit, and I'm going to add them to the game plan for the week ahead. I don't think I need to make any modifications to them at all, because like I said, Christopher's the one that's been really focusing on them, and he probably knows more than me at this stage of how to work with them. Not, just because my mind is elsewhere working on a lot of other things. But, when you're working on something every single day, you become a master at it. And he's probably a lot further in this mindset right now with this strategy than what I would be. So I'm going to, use his templates for the workspace. Like I said, if there's a slight differences, I will reach out to him and, yeah. But last question, it's a members only video, imputed righteousness. I like your name, by the way. But you know what? It's anybody who wants to see the best tools in action is free to view. And, like I just covered the free tools too. So it's not like you are completely missing out. And I think on every call, I'm going to cover what the free tools, how they have been performing, because they're there for you guys. And like I said, anybody who wants to treat trading as a business, then they will definitely want to switch over and eventually start trading the complete system of tools, that are available from the DTB system. But so continually be on the calls, because who knows, there might be something down the track that you will discover that's like, oh shit, okay, well, this is what I needed to be a subscriber, or this is what I needed to see to take my trading to the next level. Okay, thank you guys, and have an awesome week. Cheers. Let me play my intro. This stupid thing was down the whole time.